As I promised before, I'm traveling and I'm traveling in South Asia. Today I'm actually in Bangkok. Meantime, while I'm waiting for the airplane, I decided to sum up a few things about Turkey, about some news which recently came out and how they will reflect on our future. One of the most important news which just came out and that probably will affect the economy, it already affected the economy. That is that number of tourists who are booking flying to Turkey is declining rapidly. It is 20% down from Russia, it is 30% down from Germany, 9% down from UK, etc. What it really means is that this season is going to be really tough. And while I'm in Thailand, I can see why it will be tough. Because flying to Turkey perhaps is cheaper from quite a few European countries. But once you get into Turkey, it's not as cheap as it's in other destinations. And there are some other competing destinations, and Turkish authorities know about that. They're probably trying to figure out what they can do about it. Meantime, tourism is going other direction. People go to Vietnam, people go into Egypt, people go into Thailand, and some other places, perhaps less developed, but a lot more economic. Turkey has its flavor, but people have to spend money and they have to count, and they do. And that's what they come out. They come out with the idea that perhaps they should explore some other destinations. And while being in Thailand, I'm kind of comparing how Thai government is managing tourism and managing tourist staying. In city of Pattaya, I've learned that you cannot rent out the flat you own daily, but you can rent it monthly, which makes a huge difference. People do have vacation, but in most cases they have 1 month or less. Sometimes they have more, but that's not often. And in Turkey, because you have to rent out for 3 months or more, that really doesn't make sense. So I think that is one of the ideas which one can consider. Also, hotels probably will not like that idea, but people don't come to hotel for more than a couple of weeks. In general, they come there for a week, 10 days, maybe a couple of weeks, sometimes more. But counting the prices right now, it becomes really, really steep. And here in city of Pattaya, Thailand, you can actually find accommodations $300 a month quite easily, and that would be like a 1-bedroom small apartment in a close proximity to the beach and to all the restaurants and stuff. And honestly saying, this is my first time in South Asia, and in Pattaya I have not seen anywhere else but in Pattaya as many tourists. It's sometimes hard to walk in. The other interesting observation, there are stores which will not accept visa. There is a new program, to me new, maybe it's been around, I still did not investigate it, but it is South Asian exchange where people have cards, and those cards used in many South Asian countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, etc. And those cards work fine. And if you're a Western tourist, what you do is you deposit some cash into the card, they give you a card, and then you go and pay with it. That is a different story, and that's something to think about for the Western countries, particularly for visa and United States. It's no longer attractive to carry it. Yes, I can pay with visa in some other places. I can pay for taxi, I can pay for my meal at the airport, but locally you have to either carry cash or you have to deposit cash onto that card and pay with that. I guess it's more economic for local businesses. On a larger scale, I think that's also a way of de-dollarizing. And I have a little neighbor behind me who is looking at, so saying hi to you guys. As far as real estate goes, we have record sales in Turkey in real estate. It is mostly local citizens or Turkish citizens who live abroad. Those are the people who buy real estate right now. And January was a record number in number of sales, and the first quarter of this year also was a record number. People see that there is a instability, economic and political instability, which hit Turkey. It's first time in my history where I observed it. I've been in Turkey for over 4 years now, but I think this kind of unrest is the first time which I observe. And the government of Germany just sent a warning to its citizens to be careful when traveling to Turkey, which is not really a good thing, because once people have this warning, regardless of how warranted it is or not, people become cautious. And when people become cautious, they choose other destinations. And that means the money will be going to some other destinations, not Turkey. That would be a big problem. And if some other countries do the same thing, I think tourism will be hit even more. Also, about a week ago, the basis rate for the banks was raised to 46%. It was declining, but now it was raised, which tells me, and probably many other people, that the government is expecting the inflation to hit, or maybe they're doing it preemptively to prevent inflation to hit. I talk to my friends and relatives, and what I see is that in Turkey, inflation is still going pretty high. It's because of the unrest, it is increasing. That is probably another issue for tourists, that they expect that things may go even further up. In fact, going and buying things in Turkey outside of the hotel which you booked, if you booked all-inclusive hotel, is becoming expensive, and it's not really worth it, because in Central Asia, like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, the same goods from the same Turkish stores could be sold half a price than what they're in Turkey. Plus, there are other stores from other countries selling other goods, which sometimes even cheaper. That means that tourists which come, and which will come, even though declining numbers, unlikely they will be going outside and buying it, because now everybody knows that at home they can buy it cheaper than buying in Turkey. That's unfortunate, but I think it's not going to stop anytime soon. My suspicion now is that after this kind of news sink into public, it takes not one season, but more than one season for people to change their opinion, and something drastic has to change in order for public opinion to follow. Otherwise, people have this picture in mind, which is now imprinted, that Turkey is expensive, Turkey is not very competitive, and that's unfortunate. That probably will impact a lot of local people and a lot of jobs. The exports of Turkey are pretty good. Out of good news that China is looking for other countries which can re-export Chinese goods to United States and European countries, because Turkey has only 10% fee to pay for exporting its goods to United States. So it becomes attractive. Essentially, you can take Chinese goods and re-export it to United States with a 10% profit. Turkey has its own manufacturing, and I don't know if it will actually help to improve that manufacturing, if it will be easier now to buy in China and re-export. How competitive the local factories will be and the goods will be, I guess we will see. Unfortunate, those are the news which I wanted to share with you. Remember to subscribe, leave some comments, leave some likes. Share this video with those who may find this video helpful. I'm Bas. Good luck.